When we picture the founding of the United States, it's tempting to imagine a master plan. We look at the 50 states, the iconic flag, and the capital city as if they were perfectly engineered from day one, etched into stone by visionary architects. But the reality is far messier. The actual shape of the nation was stitched together through temporary fixes, massive territorial gambles, and pure historical accident. Take the capital, for example. We think of Washington, D.C. as the eternal seat of American power. Yet from 1785 to 1790, under the new Constitution, that anchor belonged somewhere else entirely. The very first official capital of the United States was New York City. This early relocation reveals a baseline for the country, a small, experimental project clustered on the East Coast, still searching for an identity before any thoughts of a continental empire. Over the next century and a half, that localized East Coast experiment exploded outward. The nation engaged in a relentless physical expansion across the continent. This push reached an extreme geographical limit with the Alaskan Territory, bringing freezing Arctic tundras and dense snow-covered forests under the American banner. Almost simultaneously, the country absorbed the Hawaiian Islands, introducing tropical beaches, palm trees, and year-round sun, the absolute opposite end of the global climate spectrum. These final additions created a bizarre geopolitical anomaly. A single citizen could now experience sub-zero blizzards and equatorial heatwaves, all without ever crossing an international border. The inclusion of these distant territories transformed the United States from a localized republic into a nation characterized by its vast, contrasting geographic realities. But this massive expansion created a very literal design problem. By the late 1950s, the country needed a way to mathematically and symmetrically fit 50 individual states onto a single piece of cloth. Enter Robert Heft. In 1958, this 17-year-old high school student from Ohio anticipated that both Alaska and Hawaii were about to be admitted to the Union. He decided to tackle the design problem himself for a history class project, carefully arranging the 50 stars. He handed it in, only to receive a B- from an unimpressed teacher. Refusing to accept the mediocre grade, Heft made an audacious move. He bypassed his school entirely and shipped his handmade flag directly to the White House. Against all odds, President Dwight D. Eisenhower actually reviewed the submission. Out of thousands of proposals, the president officially selected the teenager's precise layout to represent the newly expanded nation. Following the presidential decree, Heft's teacher was forced to update his grade to an A. It's a clear demonstration that our most recognizable national symbols can emerge straight from an everyday, grassroots initiative. When you look at the early political scrambling in New York, the absorption of extreme territorial climates, and a teenager's ingenuity in Ohio, a clear pattern emerges. These moments serve as snapshots of how the national image was built, not through a single decree, but through gradual shifts in geography and local action. The nation wasn't exclusively forged by grand architects meeting in marble halls. It is defined by a landscape that defies simple categorization, and by a teenager who believed his high school homework was worthy of representing a superpower. National identity is never an immutable, pre-planned monolith. It is a fluid, ongoing project, shaped constantly by the sheer scale of its geography and the everyday actions of its citizens.